The music is too good. I don't know, man. For some reason, I just love this song way too much. Just way too much. It's only 3 minutes long, but it's just 3 minutes of pure happiness, man. You know? It's just 3 minutes of pure happiness. Now let's get into some more intense fighting. Alright, this should be... Oh, whoops, my bad. There you go. Whoops. The one thing that I missed. Oh, whoops. Right. First thing that we're going to do is check these for anything that I need, anything else that I missed. Return to the Solana Galaxy. Begin to disappear. Captain Quark. Call them back into action. Yes. As the rest of the universe erupted in panic, the duo must embark on an epic adventure. Right. Issue 2. They meet the two. Yes. Was a fan of the duo rather than kill them imprisonment in the detention facility? Yes. Struggled to break out until aided by an Nagorian prisoner? Yes. General Glam. About to be ejected. Quokka's effort came to the rescue. Free the duo? Yes. Glam stayed behind to let the duo escape? Yes. Yes. Issue 2, completely done. Issue 3. Starts off exactly the same. Pretty much exactly the same, yes. Number 4. Alright. Talwyn and Sasha were attempting to dissuade Ratchet for even considering a meeting. Artemis's demands. We're not letting you walk into certain death, and that's final. Sasha said. And, okay, wait, hold on. I didn't use quotes anywhere, so why use them here, right? Cox said, what if it's not certain? I think I know how to stop him. Thorn told Artemis, but then Artemis noticed that Thorn feels he is being unjust. Yeah. Okay, let me actually read issue 4. Right. Where is it? Where is it? Read. Right. Got it. Comic 4. Wait, there's nothing. Quark came up with a plan. Okay, hold on. After meeting other. Okay, wait, hold on. Tell me that Sasha attempted to dissuade Ratchet from considering others' demands, as they thought he would be going into certain death. Captain Quark, however, said that he might have a plan in order to stop him. Thorn told Artemis Zog that Ratchet and Clank agreed to his terms of surrender in order to save Belden. Alright, yeah, that's a little bit better. Right. Teleported to Zogwa, where Warbots greeted the duo in attack position. They ordered Ratchet to put up his hands, and to which he complied and confiscated Ratchet's Omni-Wrench Millennium 12. Right. Optimus had to do untied. Grenade in the room. Optimus quickly called on his defense robots, but Ratchet got the upper hand in the fight. Okay, hold on. The explosion allowed... They did not know where the bridge was, of the ship was, however. So they had to... hold on. So they had to ask Sasha's forces to move in and create a distraction. However, Ratchet asked Sasha's forces to move in and create a distraction while they looked for the shard as a part of Quark's plan. And the shard is the Synexus. It is something. Synopsis? Synopsis. It has to be one of the... yeah, Surinox. There we go. Is it mentioned anywhere before? No. It's the common shard. Possession of the comet shard called the Syninox shard. Blah 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 blah. Comet shard. By using the Surinox shard. Right. This is number 4. Yes. distraction. Right. And of course, this is just out of reach. Right, it's fine. I'll just do it like this. Squawk's plan. Will Sasha attack the ship? Okay, wait. The duo, however, still had trouble looking for the bridge. After a few seconds of looking at the ship's map board, he randomly chose a hallway which led to what appeared to be an armory. They fought some of Artemis's robots, after which they ended up crashing into the room with the shark. Wait, hold on. After a few seconds of looking at the ship's map board, Ratchet randomly chose a hallway which led to what I expected to be an armory, got some of Artemis robots and ended up crashing in a room with a shard. In the meantime, Sasha, Talwin, and Solander's Galactic Rangers attacked the ship. Ratchet ordered Clank to put up the geoshift, yes. But Zog destroyed the sphere with his plasma coil. As he was about to shoot Ratchet and Clank, Talwin crashes her ES, causing enough chaos for Ratchet and Clank to escape in the shard. Right. Ratchet complied and Chrome tactic under Talwin. Sasha sadly told him that the ship crashed and implied she had died. Conker's gully said him that the conversation was interrupted when... Right. Issue 5 and 6 don't have a lot of text on the normal wiki, which is why I made my own synopsis. So this should be an easy fix, or an easy read-through. Artemis had a conversation with Vorn on how to get back to his galaxy. Travel, 13 and a half years, yes. Artemis discussed with Vorn, she's teleport pad, yes. Sasha and the Galactic Rangers, come for Ratchet and Clank, yes. Sasha tries to live Ratchet's spirit eventually, leaving back to it. Yeah, okay. All done. Next. Let me get this link. And then go to Ratchet and Clank All for One. Where you at? There you are. Ratchet and Clank All for One is a game for the PlayStation 3 developed by Insomniac Games. It is the 9th installment in Ratchet and Clank series and takes part 2 years after the events of Ratchet and Clank A Future Crack in Time. The game is a platformer shooter, however it relies on a 4-player co-op system, but players can choose to either play as Ratchet, Clank, Quark, or Dr. Nefarious. Wait, what? Dr. Nefarious is a playable character? Oh my god. It is the first spin-off game in the series, I see. But it do be canon though. The plot is not that much. Okay, good. Feels good when the plot is not that much. Saves me a lot of time typing. The game began... wait, the game began? Hold up. Galactic Resident Captain Quark went to the city of Luminopolis. Why is everything called Opolis? Swear to God, to receive an Intergalactic Tool of Justice award. That's a lot better than the Emmys, I tell you that one. He asked Ratchet and Clank to escort him, which... Wait, what? He asked Ratchet and Clank to escort him, which in reality was part of Dr. Nefarious' latest plan. Right. That sentence is once again not amazing English. He asked Ratchet and Clank to escort him to... which in reality was a part of Dr. Nefarious' latest plan. During the ceremony, Nefarious unleashed a light-eating Zgroot. What in the world is a light-eating Zgroot? Right. That's a big boy. An enormous beast. Right. That used to be frozen in cryosleep as a statue. Let's keep that one out. On the city of Luminopolis. Which was eventually defeated by Ratchet, Clank, Quark, and Nefarious himself, who after being abandoned by Lawrence had no choice but to help the heroes fight the creature. Okay. I was about to say, this doesn't make sense. However, the rare creature attracted the attention of Ephemeris, the creature collector, and the foursome were kidnapped and dumped on the planet Magnus. Okay, and the foursome and the foursome is a little bit too much. When Clank and Zephyr failed to successfully reach the planet and rescue the four, the team decided to band together to find their way home. They later found out that Ephemeris was using Magnus as an open-air reserve for the universe's most dangerous creatures, which terrorized the locals. The team was rescued by a little girl, although hesitantly, Ratchet and Clank postponed their retirement vacation and set off to stop Ephemeris. With no other way to get home, Quark and Nefarious begrudgingly joined the two heroes. After the team traveled to the Dead Grove, they found out Ephemeris was guarded by Commander Spog. The team found Nest, a base of operations for Spog, and after a long battle found out from a beaten Sprog that Ephemeris was controlled by Nuvo Binkelmeyer, a longtime friend of Dr. Frumpus Croyd. First of all, who's the little girl? Right. Second of all, the hell is Dead Grove? Location on the planet Magnus, alright. Who in the world is Commander Spog? That is a weird alien guy, alright. Northern Extraterrestrial Sorting Terminal, okay. Attracted the attention of evidence. The forward. When Cronk and Zephyr failed to. The team decided to band together to find a way home. They later found out that Ephemeris was using Magnus as an open-air reserve for the universe's most dangerous creatures, which terrorize locals. The team was rescued by a little girl. The team was rescued by a little girl. Although hesitantly, the team was eventually rescued by a little girl. Why is that all that we get to know about? Who led them towards her village. Right. Right. Although hesitantly, Ratchet and Clank proposed a retirement vacation to set off and stop Ephemeris. With no other way to get home, Cork and Nefarious begrudgingly joined the two heroes. After the team traveled to Dead Grove, they found that Ephemeris was guarded by the Commander Spar. The team found Nest, a base operation. The team found a base. The team found a. What is the thing called? The team found the Northern Extraterrestrial Sorting Terminal, also known as Nest. Which was a base of operations for Spog. Okay. The team found the Northern Extraterrestrial Sorting Terminal, also known as Nest, which was a base of operations for Spog. Is Spog mentioned before? Commander Spog, right. After a long battle, After a long battle, the group found out from a beaten Sprog that Ephemeris was controlled by Nevo Binkelmeyer. That guy. A longtime friend of Dr. Frumpus Croyd. A similar looking guy. Gotcha. Who is Dr. Frumpus Croyd? Do we get to... There's no other mention of him? Alright. Oh, Dr. Croyd, never mind. Okay, never mind. It does get mentioned later on. Good. Alright, let's go. After leaving Nest, the team found out that only Dr. Croyd knew how to defeat Ephemeris and headed over to Terawatt Forest beyond Octonok K. They also found Dr. Croyd's first holo diary, which showed critters and tharpods living together on Magnus in happiness and peace. What in the world is a tharpod? Right, those guys. Sure, makes sense. Never mind. It's a species in Ratchet and Clank. We're all good. Let's just capitalize it that way. In Octonok K, the team found Dr. Croyd's next to holo diaries. They revealed that Nevo, Dr. Croyd's colleague, had betrayed him, ravaged his laboratory. Laboratory? Jesus Christ. And stolen the plans to a protomorphic energy extractor, as well as Dr. Croyd's companion, Mr. Dinkles, who Dr. Croyd sent a smaller version of Ephemeris to rescue. This is a long as fuck sentence. Okay. They also found that Dr. Croyd's first holo diary, which showed happiness and peace. In Octonok K, the team found Dr. Croyd's next two holo diaries. They revealed that Nevo, Dr. Croyd's colleague, had betrayed him. Nevo had ravaged his laboratory and stolen all the plans to a protomorphic energy extractor. As well as Dr. Croyd's companion, Mr. Drinkles. Is it Mr. Drinkles? Mr. Dinkles. Who Dr. Croyd sent a smaller version of Ephemeris to rescue. A fourth holo diary was found by the team in Dr. Croyd's research station showed that Nevo had seized control of Ephemeris and modified it to seek out life forms on other planets. The team then traveled to the Hall of Paradoxology, oh god, in Terawat Forest. They then traveled to Terawat Forest and found that Dr. Croyd had moved his laboratory to the Fonica moon. As he expected Nevo to make an assassination attempt on him. Jesus Christ. Once the team had reached the moon, they found that Dr. Croyd had seemingly gone insane. After accessing the lab's computers, Nefarious discovered that Ephemeris had a charging dock stationed on the Valrog Plateau just outside Uzo City. The team took Dr. Croyd's escape pod to the Valrog Plateau, but on the way, Ephemeris attacked them and they crash landed into the Polar Sea. Unable to contact Clank and Zephyr. When they finally discovered a railway station, they found that it was broken. However, the plumber... Why does the plumber always appear? And fixed the station so the heroes could travel to Uzo City. Okay, for research station showed that Nevo had seized control of Ephemeris and modified it to seek out life forms on other planets. The team then traveled to the Hall of Paradoxology in Terawat Forest. Here they found that Dr. Croyd had moved his laboratory to the Fonica moon because he expected Nevo to make an assassination attempt on him. Once the team had reached the moon, they found that Dr. Croyd had seemingly gone insane. After accessing the lab's computer, Nefarious discovered that Ephemeris had a charging dock stationed on the Valrog Plateau just outside of Uzo City. The team took Dr. Croyd's escape pod from the Valrog Plateau, but on the way, their way to the city, Ephemeris attacked them. And it crash landed into the Polar Sea, unable to contact Clank and Zephyr. When they finally discovered a railway station, they found out it was broken. To their surprise, the plumber appeared and fixed the station so the heroes could travel to Uzo City. Could continue their journey. feels like however is used so often. It's actually not used that often. Wait, what? Huh. It feels like it's being used so more often than it is. I don't know. When the team reached the core of Ephemeris, they discovered that Nevo was not actually in control of the device. He had been betrayed by Mr. Dinkles, who was possessed by a Toranox spirit. He revealed that Mr. Dinkles had been responsible for everything Dr. Croyd thought Nevo had done. Although Nevo tried to stop Mr. Dinkles, he captured him and made him his pet. He planned something for everyone, I guess. He planned on using the collected beasts as vessels for the Toranox spirits so that they could destroy the universe. After fighting the heroes, he extracted his spirit into a Lygon 5 Grivelnox. After a long and fierce final battle, Dr. Croyd and Nevo managed to extract the spirit, which was promptly destroyed by Nefarious. Soon afterwards, the team took a collective sigh of relief and Dr. Croyd and Nevo reunited. A moment later, Clank and Zephyr arrived, revealing that they finally received help from Lawrence. Nefarious and Lawrence proceeded to steal Clank and Zephyr's ship and left the heroes stranded on Magnus. Thankfully, Ratchet remembered that Ephemeris was still active, and everyone decided to use it so that they could return to Luminopolis. What is Ephemeris? Now I'm confused what in the world Ephemeris is. Also known as the Creature Collector, was a vast interstellar machine. Right, I'm going to add this to here. A vast interstellar machine. Right, got it. Hey, no rule. Now I'm really stretching my attention thin. 3 streams at the same time. Focus on one, my dude. Focus on the one that you really wanna watch, man. But how you doing? How you doing? You're fine? Well, that's great to hear. I'm doing pretty good myself. We're getting there. We're getting there. Because Alpha 1 is done. Full Frontal Assault is next. And after this, I think it's only 2 more games. Into the Nexus and Rift Apart. 17,000 words, you fucking madman. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay. 1 second. Let me just... Hold on. That one and that one. Boom. RuneScape. Still just naming the areas, right? 35,500, alright. Only 59 pages, which is less than I thought it would be. StarCraft 2. 108 pages, 62,800 words. And I'm only at StarCraft 2, okay? Look at this shit. I still need to do all of these. All of the novels, all of the web stories. The web comics. Some of the normal comics. Book series with 3 volumes. 4 volumes, actually. 1 book of the Ghost series, which is obviously a trilogy. 4 novels. 2 other general books. And I'm right now at StarCraft 2. The next war. Which is 62,800 words. And yeah, 108 pages. So this is not that bad, you know. This is easy. This is nothing. This might actually be the thing that I can complete ever. I mean... Wait, what? Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault, known as Ratchet & Clank Q-Force in Europe and Australia? I have questions why these games have like so many different namings in other continents. Blah blah blah. Released November 27, 2012. Gotcha. It's a shorter adventure, but features online and offline 2-player co-op mode. And an online competitive multiplayer? Wait, what? As well as significantly higher replay value than the previous short adventure Quest for Booty. The game returns in a typical Ratchet & Clank classic control style with a third-person camera, but also features a twist on tower defense gameplay. The game is a second spin-off game created by... What? Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault multiplayer. There is a competitive and cooperative multiplayer mode in Full Frontal Assault. The mode works with 2 players, split screen or online cooperative play, in addition to an online-only competitive multiplayer mode. It features 5 levels set on 3 different planets, with further levels and modes being available as a free download. The competitive multiplayer mode revolves around each player protecting their base and attacking the enemy base. The recon stage is used to compete against the opponent in a race to secure bolt funding nodes and equipment. The squad phase then allows the players to choose what strategy to adopt. The balance between using resource to defend or attack. Finally, the assault phase simultaneously begins the attacking. Finally, the assault phase simultaneously begins the attacks forcing the player to stick with their strategy and to attempt to defend their base while dealing as much damage to the enemies as possible. The competitive mode can be played with 2 players competing against each other or with 2 teams of 2 players. What the fuck? I have never... Okay, hold on. Ratchet and Clank. Full frontal assault. Multiplayer. I am curious. Two versus 2 online free-for-all. It is 20 minutes? Okay, I just want to, like, skip through this. Right? You should select a team. Game mode. Okay, I don't care about volume. So you have to gather... What the fuck? You have to gather resources. What in the world? Okay, I never expected Ratchet and Clank multiplayer to, you know, be like this. I mean, I can see Ratchet and Clank and stuff being a shooter, right? And having the different, like, character layouts and stuff. Obviously, Captain Quark, Dr. Nefarious, maybe like Mecha Clank or whatever. It's a sort of like a Titanfall kind of thing. This is just so weird. These animations, like the jumping animations, why in the world? Yeah, I am very confused. Alright. Never mind. Hey, Hidden. How you doing? Good to see you. Has been a little while. How you doing, my dude? Welcome to my stream. Yeah, I am confused. Ratchet and Clank multiplayer. Jesus Christ. However, we don't care about the multiplayer. We care about the plot. There we go. We always care about the plot. No matter what, we always play it or watch it for the story, okay? We always watch it for the story. It's always for the plot. No other reason. Alright, so... Quark was on the... Of course it starts with Quark again. Piece of... It can never... Like in a story, never just like... I don't know, not involve Captain Quark. He always just goes and does something stupid. Quark was on the Starship Phoenix 2 with Ratchet and Clank. Complaining of boredom, of course, Captain Quark. And how there was nothing to shoot in the private sector. Hold on. Hold on. Quark was on the Starship Phoenix 2 with Ratchet and Clank complaining of boredom and how there was nothing to shoot at in the private sector? Are you kidding me, Quark? In an attempt to entertain Quark, Clank suggested that there were some rogue cleaner bots in the engine room. And after destroying the robots, they were summoned to the bridge, where a transmission from an enemy of Quark's came in, explaining that several planetary defense centers were going to be taken by Grunkarian Marauder. Okay, hold on. I'm not ready for the story. What? Quark Okay, hold on. Complaining on boredom, there was nothing to shoot in the private sector. Clank suggested that there was some rogue cleaner robots, which are literally just cleaner robots. They destroyed the robots, and then they were summoned to the bridge where a transmission from an enemy of quarks came in. Planetary defense centers are going to be taken by Gregorian marauders. Jesus Christ, look at those hands. Are those hands? I don't know. Hired by Zergo? Oh god. Stuart Zergo, also known as the Fanboy, or the Armory Employee. Is a minor character in Going Commando. Wait, hold on. Oh shit. Stuart Zergo was a child of Mr. Zergo. Ah. Zergo does ring a bell. Just not Stuart Zergo. Hence only a mother would love. That's just mean. I made my mistakes. Exitlon, I appreciate the follow, my man. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? I actually don't know if that sound effect is now actually being played on stream. I might have to look into that and fix that at some point. But, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. Q-Force. I heard of the Q-Force. The Q-Force is Ratchet, Clank, Sasha, Farana. Okay, got it. Whoops. The Q-Force then headed to the Corgon refinery, where they defended the Q-Force base. They defended the Q-Force base, captured several Q-Force weapon nodes, and reclaimed the planet. They were then able to restore the planetary defense center's power by destroying the Gregorian generators. After destroying the generators, they received a second transmission from Quark's enemy, in which he revealed himself to be Quark's fanboy, Stuart Zergo, who wanted revenge for being let down by Quark so many times. Okay, let me try and rephrase some of this. Explaining several taking my Gregorian models. In response to this threat, he assembled the Q-Force. Q-Force headed to the Corgon refinery, where they defended their base. Captured several of the Q-Force's weapon nodes and reclaimed the planet. They were then able to restore the planetary defense center's power by destroying the Gregorian generators. comma, after which they received a second transmission from Quark's enemy. During this transmission, he revealed himself to be Quark's fanboy. He revealed himself as Quark's fanboy, Stuart Zergo, who wanted revenge for being let down by Quark so many times. Okay, close enough, I'll take it. The Q-Force then traveled to the hidden city of Balkai. Okay, what is the hidden city of Balkai? The location on the planet Ibaro. The ancient city was home to a colony of Iberian monk. Sure. He left the planet and moved to Meridian City after Grommelnet began selling inner peace. After they began selling inner peace? Are you kidding me? Why? Ratchet and Clank, I swear to God, sometimes I don't even... After activating the west and east keynotes, they retook the planetary defense center and rebooted the system. They repeated this feat at the Grommelnet plasma harvester before a distress call from the plumber, of course it's the plumber, was received. Traveled to the Korgon refinery once again and helped fix his ship. At this point, they realized that the plumber could have not been on the starship Phoenix 2, so that they headed back to the ship and found it had been hacked. Wait, what? At this point, they realized that the plumber could have not have been on the starship. What the fuck is this story? The Q-Force traveled to the hidden city of Balkai. After activating the west and east keynotes, they retook the planetary defense center, but they already... Oh, several were going to be taken. Okay, fine. They repeated this feat at the Grommelnet's plasma harvester. Before a distress call from the plumber was received, they traveled to the Gorgon refinery once again and helped fix his ship. At this point, they realized that the plumber could not have been on the Starship Phoenix 2, so they headed back. Oh my god. So they headed back to the ship and found it had been hacked. Right. Zergo revealed that he had been using a hologuise to disguise himself as the plumber and had taken control of the ship. Okay, that does kind of make sense. He also told them that he had taken over the weather grid and that he had created a blizzard at the hidden city of Balkai. After destroying the weather beacons and ending a snow twister, the Q-Force activated and protected a reformatting device, escorting it to the planetary defense center where it restored the planet's weather. After pinpointing Zergo's location on Ibado, the Q-Force then set out to Zergo's Lair of Doom. After disabling an explosive, they encountered Zergo in a massive mech and defeated him, while leaving the Lair of Doom with a subdued Zergo. Quark throws him off a bridge. That's where the story ends. Okay, never mind. I love the story. It's fine. Done. Don't even try and touch it. It's perfect. 8th OG. Good to see you again. Hello and goodbye, going to sleep. Alright. Never mind. Have a great night's rest. I appreciate you dropping by nonetheless. Hope to see you soon again. Have a great night's sleep. While leaving the Lair of Doom with a subdued Zergo, sorry, whoops. Quark throws him off a bridge. Are you kidding me? Ugh. I also love how Ratchet and Clank now also gets patches. Not that many, and the last one was patch 105, but still. It's... sometimes, man, I swear. Alright, there's 2 more. Into the Nexus. It's an entry into the Ratchet and Clank, serving as an epilogue to the Future Saga. Okay, hold on. Epilogue definition, please. Oh. Got it. Published. It's a shorter title than A Crack in Time, but longer than Quest for Booty or Frontal Assault. Okay, no one cares. The game takes place in 4 worlds in the Polaris Galaxy. Yeah, the story just ends here. It just ends. After pinpointing their location, they fight him, disable an explosive, defeat Zergo in the massive mech outfit, and leave with him being subdued, and Quark just throws him off a bridge. Period. Done. Next game. It's amazing. Up until that point, I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. This is a little bit of a what the fuck. But those 3 lines is what makes the story. It's just, perfect. Just don't. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's alright. It just throws him off a bridge. It's just, oh my god, I love it. Oh. Uh, 2013, 2012, okay. The game takes place in 4 worlds of the Polaris Galaxy. The last is at the Netherlands. The brother Neftenprog hires the mercenary group Thugs for Less to free her. She seeks to bring in the Netherlands. Blah, blah, blah. The plot centers around Ratchet coming to terms with the decisions he made in Crack in Time. Oh. This might actually be an interesting story then. Alright, okay. At launch, each physical copy of the game included a download voucher for Quest of Booty, which have since expired. That's bullshit. Setting. Into the Nexus is set after an event of full frontal assault. Nice, in which Ratchet and Clank now work alongside Cronk and Zephyr for the Polaris Defense Force. It takes place in 4 planets in this Polaris galaxy, including 3 in the haunted Zarkov sector. The temperate planet Yarok, the oceanic planet Silox, and the swamp planet of Throm. The sector was closed off by the galactic president of Polaris after issuing code Alpha 9, declaring it to be haunted and ordering citizens to flee. Ratchet is initially skeptical that the sector is haunted by ghosts, until he learns that these ghosts are in fact an ethereal race, known as the Nethers. Dangerous criminal Vendra Prague is a Nether herself, and is attempting to bring her race back to the universe. Ratchet and Clank also return to the huge city on planet of Igliak, which serves as the capital of Polaris. Hell yeah. Okay, what in the world is Terratropes? Right, large crab-like creatures. Got it. So, do I actually have like Polaris defend? No. Right. Ratchet, Clank, Ratchet, Clank, right. Started working alongside Kronk and Zephyr for the Polaris Defense Force. This led the duo to escort the dangerous criminal Vendra Prague on the Nebulux 7 prison ship to the Vartox detention center, where she was set to serve a quintuple life sentence for a violent assault on Pollux Industries and the kidnapping of CEO Pollux. Right. Vendra Prague, level 7 prison ship to the Vartox detention center. And she was set to serve a quintuple life sentence. I sort of got a quintuple. Quintuple is 5, right? But 5 times. Quadruple is 4, quintuple, yes, 5, okay. I was about to say. As they approached the Vartox detention center, Ratchet and Clank had to recouple the ion converter after damage to the ship from Terratropes. Did we see? Right. Stay pushed for the Ratchet and Clank had to recouple the ion converters after damage from the ship from Terratropes. As they completed this task, they received transmission from Polaris Defense Force Captain Talwyn Apogee. Talwyn! She made Ratchet promise to wake Clank and Zephyr, who were asleep on the ship, before bringing Vendra Prog out of cryosleep. En route to waking up Clank and Zephyr, they once again obviously met the plumber, who was picking up contract work between fixing toilets. After being woken up, Clank and Zephyr accompanied Ratchet and Clank to take Vendra Prog out of cryosleep. As she was removed from cryosleep, the power core was disrupted because of a power fluctuation which disabled gravity on the ship. Of course it does. Is it the plumber? While Ratchet and Clank went to secure Vendra, Clank and Zephyr attempted to restore gravity to the ship. After avoiding several attempts on his life from Vendra manipulating hazards on the ship, Ratchet repaired the containment cell, restoring the proton field and restraining her. At this point, Clank and Zephyr had managed to reroute power to the external generator and had Ratchet reactivate it from outside the ship. After restoring gravity, Vendra's twin brother, Neptune Prog, who was also a wanted criminal for taking part in the assault and kidnapping at Pollux Industries, attacked the ship with hired thugs from the company Thugs for Less, of course. Thugs for Less invaded the ship to free Vendra. Ratchet and Clank fought their way to the Nebulux bridge to find Clank and Zephyr restrained on the ship, and the ship loaded with pyrocytic bombs. Jesus Christ. Vendra and Neptune escaped and the explosives were detonated. Ratchet and Clank were blown out of the bridge into space. Clank and Zephyr were consumed in the explosion. What the fuck, Ratchet and Clank? Vendra realized that Ratchet and Clank had survived the explosion, and she commanded the thugs to attack them in the debris of the ship. They defeated several thugs, hunting them, and avoided several attempts to be rammed by a ship piloted by the thug Satch. By grav leaping to parts of the destroyed Nebulux, Ratchet managed to avoid Satch's ship and jump onto it, where they would then head to the planet Yarok in the Zarkov sector. I feel like this game goes from 0 to 100 real quick for no reason and then straight back to 0 like nothing happened. That is very true. That is very true. Like, okay, well sure, yeah, gravity is not working and plumber is working on stuff, so it could have been the plumber, you know, accidentally doing shit, okay, sure. And then, you know, Vendra's twin brother, for some reason, who is also wanted criminal, by the way, attacked the ship with hired thugs, which we know from before. They invaded the ship, put in bombs, exploded, and 2 of the characters that we've seen in the last 4 games are dead. Like, what? Like, what the fuck, Ratchet and Clank? It could also just being the synopsis, like how it's written in the wiki. But even so, it's based on the game, so it's not like there's much room, you know? But then this doesn't quite make sense. They defeated several thugs hunting them and avoided several attempts to be rammed by the ship piloted by the thug Sedge. But then by grav leaping to parts of the destroyed Nebulex, Ratchet managed to avoid a ship and jump onto it. But then they jump onto such a ship. What the fuck did they do with Edge? Oh, by the way, look at what a badass Sedge is. After ramming into the corridor, Sedge scanned the area for signs, and around this time he received a transmission from Neftin Prog asking about Clank status, detecting no survivors even from Neftin and Clank with space skill. Ah, okay. Okay, so hold on. Why not add this? Thug is not a species name. They are thugs, and they work for the company Thugs for Less, which is, you know, just hiring thugs. I don't think that it's actually a species. I am pretty sure. I will in a second, hold on. Sedge scanned the area for signs of the duo when he received a transmission from Neftin Prog asking about their status. Sedge detected no survivors and informed Neftin Prog that they were space skill. He then left unknowingly taking Ratchet and Clank with him. And would then head to the planet Yarok in the Zarkov sector as ordered by Neftin. Right. That guy, Sedge. Oh, species thug. Okay, hold on, never mind. I see it, my bad. Yeah, shit. later rebranded Goons for Less. Still doubt that thugs are like actually a species though. Oh, species thug, never mind. You don't get the wiki, neither do I, don't worry about it. Sometimes it's just so weird. Why put species when it's affiliation? I don't know. I mean, it could be a species. I just don't know. Corrected? I can correct so many things, these like English things. I don't have the power. I hold about that's true. Once on Yarrick, after mourning the loss of Clank and Zephyr, they contact Talwyn and explain the bad news. Despite her pleas for Ratchet and Clank to return to Meridian City to avoid losing them as well, they vowed to make things right by recapturing the twins. While tracking down the twins on Yarrick, they found several abandoned cities that were seemingly haunted. And soon learned that Yarrick was the rest of the... Oh, that Yarrick and the rest of the Zarkov sector was abandoned 20 years ago due to becoming haunted by ghosts, and that Vendra and Neftin originated from Yarrick. Jesus Christ, this sentence. While tracking down the twins in Yarrick, they found several abandoned cities that were seemingly haunted. They soon learned that Yarrick and the rest of the Zarkov sector was abandoned 20 years ago due to becoming haunted by ghosts. And Vendra and Neftin originated from Yarrick. You want spicy Thai chicken? Thai chicken? Thai. Jeez. Does sound good though. That does sound good, my man. That does sound good. After receiving a grav tether from Pollix's assistant, they tracked down Pollix in Azrael Caverns, where he gave Clank an upgrade to travel into the Netherverse. What the fuck? Eventually, they found that it was the Nethers escaping into their dimension through Nether rifts. Ratchet and Clank realized that the ghosts were actually Nethers. that the ghosts were actually the nethers escaping into that dimension. And then eventually they found that the ghosts are actually the nethers escaping into their dimensions through nether rifts. They found out that they were actually, yes. Upon finding Vendra's holo diaries in the nearby orphanage. Wait, why is there an orphanage? Learned that Vendra and Neftin were responsible for the evacuation of the sector. They quickly discovered thugs for less were protecting Neftin and Vendra Prog, and Ratchet and Clank infiltrated the... Okay, hold on, what the fuck? Some of these sentences, man, I just... responsible for the evacuation. It quickly discovered thugs were protecting Nathan and Vander Prague. With some assistance from Talwyn, the duo managed to infiltrate the thugs for less outpost. What? Okay, what the fuck is this paragraph, man? After tracking the twins to a cave underneath the orphanage, they learned that Vendra and Neftin built a homemade dimensionator, of course, in order to bring nethers into Ratchet's dimension. They also saw the leader of the nethers, who went by the name of Mr. I, of course. How does Mr. I look? Kinda looks like a big ass... Actually, it's not that much of an eye. It is one eye, but has a big mouth and a body as well, so why in the world would it be called Mr. I? That's such a dumb name. He noticed Ratchet and Clank and ordered and commanded the nethers to attack them. Captain Quark arrived in the nick of time with the Felian and saved them from the monsters. Realizing that the twins were headed to Psylocke, they traveled there to stop them from unleashing Mr. I on the galaxy. Upon arriving, although he still wanted the twins to pay for Kronk and Zephyr's death, Ratchet became more sympathetic sympathetic towards them, as he understood that they wanted to be reunited with their race. If you want to be reunited by their race, then go to their dimension, you piece of shit. Fronk? It's Kronk. But that their plans were a great danger to everyone else. You know, shit. He and Vendra began communicating, and Ratchet tried to reason with Vendra, not to unleash Mr. I, but to no avail. After reaching the Sky train station, Neftin tried to stop Ratchet, but he managed to defeat Neftin. But he managed to defeat him. Why call the name 17 times? In the end, however, he was unable to prevent Vendra from bringing over the Nethers and Mr. I. As Ratchet predicted, Mr. I betrayed Vendra and imprisoned her in the Netherverse. RIP, you stupid idiot. After barely escaping the Nether leader, Ratchet and Clank agreed to meet Neftin on planet Throm so that they could make a deal. In exchange for helping Neftin steal the Dimensionator to free Vendra, Neftin and Vendra must turn themselves in. After Neftin agreed to the deal, Ratchet and Clank headed to the Intergalactic Museum of History in Meridian City. After trekking through the museum and finding the Dimensionator, they gave the device to Neftin. Shortly after, Mr. I attacked the city in order to destroy the Dimensionator. They fought Mr. I and initiated a two-fold plan with Ratchet fighting Mr. I, while Clank searched for Vendra. After a lengthy battle, Ratchet stunned Mr. I long enough for Vendra to return and helped seal Mr. I and the Nether army back into the Netherverse. Keeping true to his promise, Neftin, as well as a disgruntled Vendra, turned themselves in. Later, Ratchet and Clank sat in the museum and observed the Dimensionator, watching it fall apart and falling into a short laughing fit. Clank asked Ratchet what would have happened if the device was functional when it was used. Ratchet decided that despite wanting to find his race, he settled on staying there with Talwyn. Ratchet then left to meet Talwyn, not knowing Clank swiped the Dimensionator. Oh boy, Clank, you son of a bitch. But you know what that does mean? We're at Rift Apart, which is the final game. A Rift Apart is the final game of the series. At least, so far. It has been released in 2021. Oh my god, this is a lot. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. What the fuck? What? I swear to god, dude. The plot in this game is probably like every move ever. Because this Rift Apart is like 17 times the length of any other plot series. Jesus Christ. How long is the game itself? Gadgets, armor, glitz, and mounts? What the f— you have 2 rideable mounts in Rift Apart? One is Speedle, and one is Trudy. This is Speedle. And this is Trudy. Why the fuck do we have mounts? Oh my god, okay. Oh boy. Of course, the last one has to be like 17 times as long as everything else. In an alternate dimension, a Lombax resistance fighter named Rivet is on an undercover mission to steal an infobot in a robot-filled dystopian city. She uses a robot disguise to blend in with the local inhabitants and successfully procures it without being caught. But the escort she stole it from soon realizes it is missing and spread out their forces to find it. Before escaping and decrypting it, however, she defies the instructions of her resistance compatriot on her communicator and instead pursues an organic citizen being hunted down by one of the city's troopers and rescues them first. Soon after, the city's patrolling forces track her down to retrieve the stolen infobot and she retreats. Okay, in an alternate dimension, a Lombax resistance fighter named Rivet is on an undercover mission to steal an infobot in a robot-filled dystopian city. She uses it in disguise. Without being caught. The escort she stole it from, however, soon realizes it is missing and spread out the forces to find it. Before escaping and decrypting it, however, she defies blah blah. Okay, good. Meanwhile, in Ratchet and Clank's dimension, the Festival of Heroes is being held in Megalopolis on Corson 5 to celebrate the duo's many achievements in heroism. Although they remark it has been years since they last did anything heroic. The festival is hosted by Captain Quark, Skid McMarks, and Rusty Pete. Why the fuck is Rusty Pete here? Quark also announces that Clank has a gift to present to Ratchet at the front of the parade route, and the two begin heading towards it. The celebration is interrupted, however, by the recently rebranded Goons for Less, as a bounty has been put on Ratchet and Clank's heads. After breaking through the attacking goons, they reach the front float, where Clank reveals that he has rebuilt the broken Dimensionator from the ending of their last adventure. He presents it to Ratchet so he can travel the dimensions and find his species, the Lombaxes, who are lost in another dimension. We already know that. Before Ratchet can voice his issues, however, the device is stolen by Dr. Nefarious. In his party crasher ship, of course, who hired the goons in place of his assistant Lawrence after he had been placed on paid paternity leave. After chasing him through the city and catching back up to him at the train station, Nefarious confronts the two and attempts to use the Dimensionator against them. But Ratchet impulsively shoots the phase quartz power core, causing a large explosion that sends Nefarious and his ship hurtling into a nearby building and causes mass dimensional chaos to begin occurring across the planet. After taking a piece of the chipped phase quartz that landed near him, Ratchet uses it to pull himself towards the rifts now appearing and yank open gaps in the damaged dimension as part of a new makeshift gadget known as the Rift Tether. Okay, what the fuck did I just read? Before Ratchet can voice his issues, however, the device is stolen by Dr. Nefarious in his party crasher ship, who hired the goons in the first place. Of his assistant Lawrence after he had been placed on paid paternity leave. After chasing him through the city and catching back up to him at the train station, Nefarious confronts the two and attempts to use the Dimensionator against them. Ratchet, however, impulsively shoots the phase quartz power core, causing a large explosion that sends Nefarious and his ship hurtling into a nearby building and causes a mass dimensional chaos to begin occurring across the planet. After taking a piece of the chipped phase quartz that landed near him, Ratchet uses it to pull himself towards the rifts now appearing. That now appear. That now appeared, and yank open gaps in the damaged dimension as part of a new makeshift gadget. Alright. Jesus Christ. Upon catching back up to Nefarious, Ratchet and Clank fight him in his ship and eventually defeat him. Nefarious, sick of frequently being defeated over the years, puts his true plan into motion with the Dimensionator and uses the device to bring the three of them to a dimension where the Doctor always wins. Damn. After arriving on a rooftop in a neon-lit rainy city, the Dimensionator finally goes critical from being damaged and explodes. Always great. Clank awakes in another part of the city and finds his right arm has been blown off and his legs are locked into their retracted state. Rivet drops down behind him, and after seeing the dimensional chaos happening and hearing him admit fault to it, she takes Clank with her against his will. What the fuck is this game? Dr. Nefarious awakens in a throne room and is mistaken for being his counterpart in this dimension, known as Emperor Nefarious. The Emperor's assistant remarks he has returned early from his conquest, and the Doctor ecstatically takes his place on the throne. Ratchet finally awakens and finds a wanted poster of Rivet. Wondering where he could be, he soon finds he is in a place named Nefarious City on a dimensional counterpart of Corson 5. He meets Miss Zircon, a counterpart of Mrs. Zircon, who is an ally of the Resistance force against the evil tyrannical Emperor Nefarious and his empire, who rule the entire known universe in this dimension. What the fuck? Miss Zircon offers to sell him weapons, but suddenly Rivet runs past him with Clank on her back and escapes in her ship. Mrs. Zircon informs Ratchet that only royal starships can leave the planet without being shot down, and to find one he must look for a Resistance member known as the Phantom at Club Nefarious. The Phantom is revealed to be a counterpart of Skid McMarx and has his cover blown at the club before being pursued by the Empire's robotic enforcers, the Nefarious Troopers. Ratchet chases after Phantom and defends him from the attacking troopers. Recognizing him as a Lombax like Rivet, Phantom upgrades Ratchet's Omni-Glove with resistance tech and gives him a gadget known as the Phantom Dash, allowing him to run along wall panels, becoming intangible for a short period to pass through checkpoint barriers and avoid enemy attacks. Jesus Christ. Phantom informs Ratchet that Rivet always goes to her base on planet Sargasso after her missions. He makes Ratchet a deal and agrees to help him get a royal starship to leave the planet and pursue Rivet and Clank if he helps him with hacking a propaganda blimp at the nefarious day spa. Of course it's a day spa. Ratchet agrees and provides cover for Phantom from the troopers, so he can program a message into the blimp for the downtrodden citizens of the city. Phantom then gives Ratchet a hacking program named Glitch, so he can use the Emperor's private shuttle to get into Nefarious Tower and steal a royal starship. Suddenly, however, Phantom gives himself up to the nefarious troopers to try and fight the Empire's corruption from the inside out. See, Skid McMarks, even in other dimensions, is a fucking badass. Glitch initially was unhappy upon first meeting Ratchet and finding that she had been handed... Okay, wait, hold on. Glitch is a thing. Wait, hold on. Glitch. IT bot, there you go. And finding that she had been handed off to someone she was unfamiliar with, Ratchet introduced himself and asked her for her help in the tower situation he was in. She hesitated at first, but decided to assist in hacking the access console in Nefarious Plaza. Glitch enters the shuttle's access console and assumes she will simply need to delete some old files, but soon discovers Zeta virus infections overtaking the system and rendering them inoperable. She at first panics that she does not have the training to handle viruses of this caliber, but she cautiously utilizes her electro guns and blitz infectors to eventually clear out the infection, much to even her own surprise. After deleting the viruses and destroying the virus nest pods sucking energy from the machine, the host computer came back online, allowing Ratchet access to the office of Emperor Nefarious and allowing him to leave the planet in a stolen ship after narrowly escaping Dr. Nefarious and the troopers. On the way to Sargasso, Clank attempts to explain what is happening to Rivet, but she refuses to believe his story. A distress call then appears on her ship's computer from her friends who live on the planet. The Morts, a nefarious Seekerpede sent to search the planet suddenly clips her ship and sends it crashing to the ground, forcing them to make their way to the Mort's gelatonium factory using other means. On the way, Rivet runs into Miss Zircon, who informs the Lombax that she has added Ratchet's vendor account to Rivet's, so the two now share purchases. What? She refers to Ratchet only as their mutual friend on Nefarious City, leaving Rivet confused. To cross the planet's acid swamps, however, they will need to ride on the back of a Speedle and attempt to track one down. Clank also attempts to contact Ratchet with his communicator, but finds that it has also been broken. I am so fucking confused. This story is... I don't know. On the way to Sargasso Clank attempts to explain the story. The terrestrial gears goes him to the ground. On the way, Rivet turns into Miss Zircon. How the fuck did Zircon get over there? Did he also have a ship? I don't know. Who informs the Lombax, Rivet, that she has added Ratchet's vendor account to Rivet's, so the two now share purchases. I don't get it either. Like, what? Several Speedles escape, but Rivet spots one heading into a pocket dimension and follows it inside by using her own rift tether built into her robotic arm to pull open a gap in the damaged dimensions. Fucking Jesus Christ, this game is so... What the fuck? Inside the pocket dimension, they spot the Mort's helper bot, Maynard, and follow the Speedle until it hides in one of its nests. Rivet hits the nest, causing a Speedle to jump out and allowing her to finally jump on its back. Maynard acts as a guide and leads Rivet along a path out of the pocket dimension and back to the gelatonium factory using the speeding Speedle. After arriving, Rivet finds that the goons for less have taken the Morts hostage and demand they give up the location of their bounty. The location of their bounty? Oh, the location of... Oh, yeah, of course, of Rivet, because Rivet is there. Ah, right. Clank tries to explain that they had traveled through the dimensional vortex and are looking for Ratchet, but Rivet continues to dismiss his claims. Also, I love how all of these things are like what is it, like a tool related, or not necessarily tool, but like you know, a Ratchet. Hold up. Like, a ratchet is a tool, and a rivet is not a tool, but like a what is it called? It's I don't want to say resource. Yeah, what is... What do you call something like a nail or a screw or a rivet? Is it just like resource? A nail is a fastener, sure, okay. Nail is a small object made of metal, yeah. What the fuck? That is interesting. I actually have no idea. Anyway, you know what I mean. They're all like building stuff related. I don't know. I forgot what I was going for. But you know, Ratchet and you know all of building stuff. Fucking I don't. You know what I mean, right? Once all the goons at the factory are defeated, Rivet checks the morts. It checks if the morts are okay, and they assure her that they are. Okay, they assure her that they are fine, but some of the other morts are trapped inside a large purple dimensional anomaly next to the factory. Clank offers to inspect it as he has experience with dimensional anomalies from his previous adventure with Ratchet. Very true. I think that's a crack in time, I think. And of course, I don't know, did they also have like dimensional stuff afterwards? I don't know if they had dimensional stuff going on at the previous... Actually, yes, they did. Duh, of course. We just had a game where they had dimensional shit with Mr. I going on. The fuck? I know this. I totally didn't forget already. What are you talking about? Upon touching it, Clank has his consciousness transported to a space between dimensions and meets the astral form of a man named Gary, who has been searching for someone like Clank to help him fix the dimensions. Gary introduces himself as a cosmic prophet and resides on planet Savali, studying in its vast interdimensional archives. He helps Clank with learning to repair dimensional damage and warns that the damage caused by the Dimensionator will continue to spread and eventually lead to a dimensional cataclysm unless it can be reversed by that which caused it, another Dimensionator. After Clank learns more about dimensionality and how to reverse its damage, he eventually is able to repair the anomaly and reawakens on Rivet's back. Once the Morts are freed from inside the anomaly, Rivet meets back up with a female Mort she is good friends with and gives her a part from the space pirates needed to finish fixing a starship. While the Mort is fixing the ship, Rivet travels back to her secret hideout, plugs Clank into her main computer system, and looks through his memory banks to find the truth about him. The events that occurred in Megalopolis play out on her monitor, in which she witnesses the Dimensionator, Dr. Nefarious, and Ratchet. She is shocked to see a Lombax and finally views the Dimensionator explode in Nefarious City. Rivet wakes Clank up again and admits that he was telling the truth about everything. She reveals to him that she has a rather hard time trusting robots after her many bad experiences with them from the Emperor. His followers and pirates, in which she has lost friends, and during one such conflict, her arm, leaving her with some degree of PTSD. Isn't this a lovely game? Once the infobot she had is decrypted, it begins sending out a signal, and the Seekerpede that was patrolling the planet suddenly breaks open the wall of her hideout using its giant mandibles. The Seekerpede uses a tractor beam to pull all metallic objects towards it, and it mistakenly takes Clank instead of the infobot. Rivet, plagued with guilt over her treatment of Clank, chases the Seekerpede on a speedle to save him and launches onto its back, ramming the machine's flight stabilizer. Upon it being grounded, she battles the craft and eventually destroys its nefarious trooper pilot. When she saves Clank, Rivet offers to help him get a part to fix his broken communicator, and the two hop into the new ship the Morts have fixed up for her. Before leaving the planet, Rivet finally checks the contents of the infobot and finds that it is a target hit list of the Emperor's key opposers: Phantom, Moidoi, Captain Quantum, Kletchkey, and Rivet herself. She posts the lists to the Resistance's network to warn them of the danger, and the two take off in their ship. Jesus Christ. On the way to their destination, Clank laments the actions that led him and Ratchet to end up in this situation and blames himself for his short-sightedness in showing off the Dimensionator in public. The two arrive at Zerky's gastropub and Battleplex, a refueling depot, and Zircon family-run business floating in the debris of the planet Skarstu that had been destroyed years ago by the Emperor. Rivet and Clank go to the gastropub and look for Zerky. A counterpart of Mr. Zircon, but instead a pacifist with a stern violence restriction in his gastropub. Right. To get the parts to fix Clank's communicator, Rivet searches for the space pirate that she knows has it and goes to the bar to ask Zerky if he has seen them. Before Zerky can answer, however, the robot space pirate in question interrupts and quickly makes himself known. He is Pierre Lefer, a counterpart of Rusty Pete. Your chicken's here? Ooh. Enjoy your chicken, my dude. Rivet has known Pierre for a long time and is quite familiar with his antics. He attempts to flirt with her and flaunts his ego, but Rivet repeatedly and flatly demands he hand over the part. She finally decides to challenge him to a fight for it, but Zerky comes between the two and tells them to settle their quarrel in the Battleplex. The son of Zerky and Miss Zircon Zircon Jr. is the mastermind of the Battleplex and arena announcer. He introduces Rivet and her opponents whilst providing his own brand of commentary for the fights. Okay, I don't give a fuck. Rivet battles and defeats several waves of Pierre's crew until she is set to fight the pirate himself. Despite Pierre's vain boastings, he is in fact rather cowardly and vain. What the fuck is vains? feigns a sprained ankle to avoid fighting Rivet himself and sends a pirate marauder named Francois to battle in his stead. After a tense fight, Rivet eventually emerges victorious against Francois, and Pierre bitterly throws the part to her, but not before first threatening that he will get his revenge for their defeat. Rivet and Clank return to the gastro pub and sit down at a free table where Rivet inserts the parts into Clank's chest compartment and is able to get his communicator working again. While Ratchet is flying the stolen starship towards Sargasso, Clank activates his communicator and is able to make contact with him. Clank assures Ratchet he is fine and is currently with the Lombax that had taken him. Rivet sheepishly greets Ratchet over the communicator and he relays the information that Dr. Nefarious has taken over as the Emperor of Rivet's dimension. Clank concludes that to begin forming a solution to their problems, they will need to build a new Dimensionator. He recounts what Gary had told him earlier about the interdimensional archives, and Ratchet volunteers to travel to Savali and ask for his help in reconstructing one. While Ratchet goes to Savali, Clank suggests he and Rivet go to the planet Blizar Prime to acquire the phase quartz needed to power the device. Unbeknownst to the three, however, the Emperor's assistant had been eavesdropping on their plans in the gastropub the entire time. Upon returning to their ship, a public broadcast from the Emperor's office place where Dr. Nefarious announces he is offering a large bounty for the dead or alive capture of Ratchet and Rivet. The assistant's spy also informed him that they would be arriving on Savali and Blizar Prime soon, where he has already sent nefarious trooper strike teams to intercept their rivals. Right. How many more fucking... Jesus fucking Christ. the most in-depth fucking shit ever. Ratchet arrives on the planet and quickly runs into Gary, who recognizes him from his research on Clank's history in his book. He instructs Ratchet to make his way to the interdimensional archives just past the monks' settlement and find his apprentice, who can help him with building a Dimensionator. The nefarious troopers, however, have arrived on the planet and are attacking Monktown while searching for a Lombax. Ratchet destroys the occupying troopers and makes his way to the archives. However, the structure detects an interdimensional anomaly and enters its defensive mode. Rising up on its robotic legs to walk itself away from any danger. Upon its rising, a small robot falls from the top and lands in front of Ratchet. He realizes she is Gary's apprentice. To get back up to the archives and acquire the Dimensionator blueprints, Ratchet suggests to her that they team up, but she is quite reluctant and insists she would not make a good partner. Ratchet makes a deal with her that in the event something goes wrong, which he assures won't, they will go their separate ways with no questions asked. She agrees, but maintains their alliance is only temporary. To get into the archives again, they will need help from the monks, Gary's acolytes. They, however, have been taken prisoner at their 3 temples by the invading nefarious troopers and placed inside force fields. The apprentice gives Ratchet a pair of Lombax hoverboots that will allow him to quickly traverse across the planet's Earthda Mesa. Ratchet recalls he did not catch her name, and she meekly introduces herself as KT 7461. They free the monks at the Badlands Temple and at the Primeval Forest Temple, where Ratchet defends KT 7461, sorry, from waves of troopers while she disables the force fields through its access terminal. Whilst traveling between the temples, Ratchet proposes giving KT 7461 a nickname, but she is unsure about his suggestions. The mountain temple required Ratchet to pass a series of dangerous time trials in order to ascend to the top quickly with his hover boots, or the track he is on would collapse. After destroying the nefarious sniper bots guarding the monks, what the fuck, at the mountain's summit, KT-7461 found the force field's access terminal was infected with Zeta viruses, and using it would cause her to be infected as well. Ratchet sent a glitch in to clear out the viruses and bring the machinery back online, allowing KT-7461 to free the monks. Once all of the monks are freed, Ratchet gets warped back to Monktown through one of their rifts. Gary works with his acolytes to open a path through multiple rifts, allowing Ratchet to boost with great speed up to the top of the archives. Upon reaching the archives, however, they discover that the nefarious troopers are already there, seeking to plunder its contents to present to the Emperor and convert the structure into a war machine. Whilst fighting them off, KT-7461 frets that some of the archives' contents are irreplaceable and the troopers might damage them. Ratchet succeeds in destroying the attacking troopers and powers up the Helix generator to open the rift into the archives vault. Inside, KT-7461 is relieved that the dimensional map and the rest of the contents are safe. Ratchet discovers Lombek's language writing inside the vault and confides in KT-7461 that his father Caden was the keeper of the original Dimensionator and lamented that he couldn't keep it out of the wrong hands like his father wished. Right. After scanning the blueprints, KT-7461 informs Ratchet that the only place with the facilities powerful enough to create it are at the Emperor's Kadiro station on planet Cordelia, the most secure outpost in the galaxy. She then decides that of Ratchet's name suggestions, she liked Kit the most and began using it from that point forward. Suddenly, several nefarious dropships began bombing the archives to destroy it, forcing Kit to very reluctantly transform into her aggressive warbot form to ward off the attackers. Jesus Christ. She then points her weapon at Ratchet but snaps back to her senses and transforms back. She dourly explains to Ratchet that she was a creation of the nefarious empire and built to be a powerful weapon to keep the Emperor's galaxy secure. She was naively manipulated by the Emperor and fled her role in great shame after she severely injured someone on one of her patrols. Years ago, she exiled herself to the remote planet Savali to keep others safe from her own destructive capabilities, and devoted her life to building and preserving knowledge in the archives with the local monk tribe. Ratchet is not soured by this, however, and wants Kit to continue traveling with him as a team. She is surprised at this, but hesitantly accepts and remarks that she will continue to try. Once the archives are safe, Kit and Ratchet leave for planet Cordelian to use the Kadaro station's Ruby and Forge to build a new Dimensionator. There's still so much left. On the way to Lizar Prime, Rivet recalls Clank telling her on Sargasso that he repaired the Dimensionator so that Ratchet could find the other Lumbaxes. Rivet had also been estranged from her own kind her whole life and wishfully asks him if finding the Lumbaxes home was truly possible. Their conversation is shut down, however, when they approach Lizar Prime and find that the planet has been shattered to pieces. Jesus Christ. They land their ship in the debris field, wondering aloud what could have happened. What could have happened? Clank worries that the phase quartz could not have survived. They soon, however, they soon find a purple glowing Lysen crystal, and Clank tells Rivet to strike it with her hammer. Upon doing so, they find themselves shifted into another dimension where the planet is still intact. Mm. 4,000 words later, he's still on the same game. Truly, like, look at this shit. I'm currently, like, right here, right? Upon doing so, they find themselves shifted in another dimension. I've already done this. Like, all the way up here, right? From, like, Megalopolis, right? From here, I've already done that. I still have to do this. I'm at like 1/3 or something of the game. It's fucking insane. But it does feel like this game is like way longer or way more like story in depth than all of the other games. But for instance, like the first game is just you go from planet to planet, you see a few guys beat stuff up, you're done. And this seems like way more story driven. Oh boy, why is there still so much left? It's one game, please. I have a feeling like this lore might be the same as like 8 of the 14 games or whatever. Like, Clank had theorized, the Lyson had absorbed and stored the energy from the dimensional rifts. Allowing the two to use them to shift back and forth between Rivet's dimension and another unknown one. Think about this also, right? There are a shit ton of cutscenes when it comes to this game. There are a shit ton of cutscenes. And I am going to watch all of the fucking cutscenes to figure out where they have to be in the story. I'm going to milk all of the content this game has forever. And I believe that there are like multiple hours of cutscenes, but obviously I will not use most, if all, of the cutscenes, video footage and or audio, but you know. It's a thing to keep in mind. Clank discerns they can find intact phase quartz here, and they should speak to a miner or engineer about using these sites. Main drill to excavate some. Shifting back and forth between Rivet's dimension and the intact one. The two meet a survivor in the ruins who angrily curses her predicament. Rivet informs her that there is another dimension where the planet is still intact, and the stranger eagerly asks how she knows this, but figures out that the Lombax had used the Blizon and hastily takes off. The various troopers sent by Dr. Nefarious pass by and scour the planet's remains for Rivet and Clank. Soon after, the two start hearing gargled transmissions from the stranger, broadcasting a warning to anyone who will listen. Her messages are unclear, so Clank suggests they look into it after they have first secured some phase quartz. The crumbling barriers between dimensions had been causing seismic activity throughout the intact Blizer Prime, forcing much of the mining site to undergo lockdowns for safety purposes. Rivet and Clank made their way around the lockdown areas on their way to the main site. On the way there, more members of the Goons for Less emerged. From dimensional rifts and had followed Rivet to fulfill their contract. The Goons, however, already almost in 4 pages. Are you kidding me? Oh boy. The Goons, however, have trouble differentiating their Lombax target between Rivet and Ratchet, so they attack them both. After defeating the Goons' forces, they make their way to the main mining hub and take a lift to the Chief Engineer's survey station. What the fuck? Emerged in the dimensional rifts that followed Rivet. The Goons, however, have trouble differentiating their Lombard's target between Rivet and Ratchet, so they attack them both. But Ratchet isn't in here, right? Oh boy. Right. Rivet asks the engineer if they can drill for some face quartz, but she claims she has been hearing voices coming from the dimensional rifts and has sent her 3 science bots to discover what the disturbance is. The engineer states she cannot authorize use of the drill until this has been investigated first. Rivet offers to speed up the process and goes to find the science bots BOB, JIM, and SAM herself, so they can report their findings. Once all 3 return to the survey station, the engineer begins decoding the message they picked up from Rivet's dimension and authorizes use of the drill in the meantime. On the way back to the mining hub, a dimensional anomaly identical to the one on Sargasso appears at the site's hydraulic pump and needs to be repaired before they can continue further. Clank enters the anomaly and meets Gary again, who again assists Clank with repairing it. Clank asks Gary about the book he always carries with him And he explains it is the most up-to-date collection of knowledge in the universe, as catalogued by his father, whom Clank knows as the Plumber. What the fuck? The Plumber is currently taking his first ever vacation and has left Gary in charge. Gary asks how things are going with Rivet, and Clank notes the differences between her and Ratchet, namely her wariness of robots, which Ratchet never had. Clank realizes that he has begun to trust Rivet and that she is starting to trust him too. Clank repairs the anomaly and receives some parting words of advice from Gary. Confidence is the key to not getting caught up in the details. The fuck you mean? After getting clearance to use the elevator, the two continue along a grind rail system and reach the drill. Once the drill is activated, the chief engineer calls and plays the message from her counterpart in Rivet's dimension. The message from the stranger implores them to not turn on the drill. The rifts had damaged it and was the cause of her Blizzard Prime being destroyed. The engineer desperately attempts a remote shutdown but is unable to. The drill excavates some phase cords that Rivet knocks out of the beam with her hammer, shifting them back to her dimension, where she is attacked by the nefarious troopers. She quickly finds more Blizon. However, and returns to the other dimension to save the planet. Jesus. The goons, for less, continue trying to attack her, but Rivet knocks one of their dropships into the drill and successfully dislodges its laser before it shatters the planet. Very nice, Rivet. In the chaos, Clank and the phase cords fall into the dislodged laser's trajectory, but Rivet chooses to narrowly save Clank while the phase quartz is broken into pieces. The situation looks bad. Rivet picks up the shattered fragments and recalls to Clank stories the Morts had told her about an individual on Torin 4 known as the Fixer. Isn't that amazing? Who is said to be capable of fixing anything. Rivet, understanding how bad the Morts are at lying, feels their highly spoken tales of the Fixer are worth looking into. Clank takes her word for it, and the two head back to Rivet's dimension again and jump in their ship to take off to Torrent 4. Just before they leave, another public broadcast from Dr. Nefarious plays, where he attempts to dispel panic that the dimension is in danger and discards them as lies. He also significantly increases the bounty he had previously placed on the Lombaxes. Oh, why is Rift Apart so much? Why is this one game so much lore? It's interesting. Not terrible. But still, Jesus Christ. Alright, give me a minute. Repositioning. Stretch. Yeah. And we're good to go. At least for a little while. Upon flying down to the planet, Kit remarks on her first time seeing an ocean. Ratchet proposes that once they have saved the dimensions, she will have a whole universe to explore. Kit shares her worries of her unknown future, and Ratchet opens up to his own unease about meeting the Lombaxes, feeling it may or may not be a mistake. Upon arriving at the Kadaro station's surface entrance, the nefarious troopers lock down the facility, leaving Ratchet and Kit with no way inside. They look around and are able to find a glowing purple Blizon crystal. Upon striking it with his wrench, Ratchet and Kit are shifted to an unknown dimension where the facility has been long abandoned. On the elevator ride down, Kit relates to Ratchet that she has also never known her own family, with the closest person being the Emperor, to which she assures Ratchet he could not do any worse with the Lombaxes. Ratchet, however, feels inadequate compared to the huge accomplishments and creations of the Lombaxes. Kit tells him he is selling himself short, but regardless, Ratchet feels he has a good life in his own dimension and does not want to risk it. Inside the abandoned station, they find the facility has been infested with amoeboids. Ah, those things. I see. I remember those. After they broke out of their containers. Further inside, they meet a rather mentally disturbed utility robot named Junkbot. who, despite being of unsound mind, is helpful and friendly. Ratchet and Kit look for another Blizon crystal to get back to the active facility and ask Junkbot if he has seen any. He claims he has and leads the two deeper into the station to find it. While passing a darkened room, Ratchet spots something inside and is startled when a slavering creature lunges at him, but is stopped by the door snapping shut. Junkbot informs them that the creature is a good friend of his named Juice, despite its attempts to kill him sometimes. They soon find that the creature is actively stalking Ratchet through the facility, and upon finding a Blizon crystal like Junk promised, they say their presumed farewells to him and gladly use the Blizon to get away from Juice. Upon shifting back to Rivet's dimension, they make their way towards the Rubian Forge, but are stopped by a familiar utility bot who interrogates them on how they got inside during the lockdown. Kit thinks quickly and pretends her and Ratchet are interior decorators sent by the Emperor to give the facility a surprise remodeling. The threat of upsetting the Emperor causes Junkbot's counterpart to cower at the notion, and he lets the two be on their way. Once they finally reach the controls to the forge, Kit uploads the schematics, but Ratchet is unsure how to activate the machine. Between the two main console buttons, he chooses against the button with the skull and crossbones and presses the blank one. Suddenly, however, this causes the forge to begin badly malfunctioning. Oh boy. Junkbot exclaims in panic why he used the machine with auxiliary power only when the main power button was right next to it. The forge explodes and the station's security forces pursue the two. Ratchet and Kit are able to find another Blizon crystal and use it to escape back to the abandoned dimension. In the other dimension's Rubian Forge, Ratchet asks Junkbot what it would take to get the abandoned station's dormant Rubian Forge working again. He explains that with the power gone, a virus has infected the system, and nothing will work until it is first cleared. Glitch enters the Forge's access console and is able to clear out the SIDA virus infection. Junkbot claims the last time he saw the power source, it was downstairs through a pressure-locked door. Inside, they find a chamber with a broken container but no sign of a power source. They decide their best course of action is to find more Blizon and attempt to steal the power source from Rivet's dimension. While searching, Ratchet and Kit run into Juice multiple times as he attempts to attack them while they escape through more pressure-locked doors. Using broken Slurpeon jelly canisters, Ratchet is able to distract Juice as his weapons do not have any effect on the creature's near impenetrable shell. As Ratchet and Kit are disabling the locks to a blast door, essentially Kit are disabling the locks to a blast door so they may advance and find more Blizon. They come across an old video log showing Junkbot gleefully observing Juice in the Cordelian waters before being horrified as the creature is forcibly captured by the other station workers. After again escaping Juice through the large blast door and into the next room, Ratchet steps on a pressure plate and the room is immediately flooded with seawater. Ratchet luckily manages to use his O2 filtrator and magna boots in time to stay composed, allowing him to navigate Cordelian's ocean floor and walk through the Fantasy Trench. Juice swims above him through the ocean, again stalking Ratchet as he makes his way towards an airlock leading back inside the station. Whilst traversing the ocean floor, Kit tells Ratchet she had been thinking about what he said earlier about the Lombaxes and risking a good life. She relates that she felt the same way with a good life on Savali, and when Ratchet asked her to be partners, she did not want to risk it either, but is glad she did. Ratchet thanks her for understanding, and Kit assures that with their roles reversed, she can now be the one who believes in him. After entering the station again through an airlock, they spot the Blizon. Juice, however, jumps down from the ceiling and ambushes them, but Ratchet is able to escape him one last time by shifting back to Rivet's dimension. Okay, one final part and then I'm going to end it for today, because Jesus Christ, it's a lot. After fighting off several waves of nefarious troopers towards the Forge's power source in Rivet's dimension, Ratchet and Kit discover for themselves that Juice himself was the power source. Kit pleads to Ratchet that they must free him after seeing his dismal predicament. After liberating him, Ratchet tensely tried to make his peace with this version of juice, and to his surprise, the creature reciprocated with it, helping Ratchet defeat the station's elite security detail. When asked if he knew another way to power the Rubian Forge, this juice then led Ratchet to another Blizon crystal and shifted them along with him to the abandoned dimension again. While the abandoned dimension's juice was aggressively advancing on Junkbot, the juice from Rivet's dimension angrily lunged at his counterpart. The two juices intensely sized each other up, but eventually both became calmed and collected by the other. The juice of Rivet's dimension then gestured to his counterpart towards the forge, and the two used their bioelectricity together to power it up, allowing Ratchet and Kit to finally create the Dimensionator correctly using the skull and crossbones marked button. Junkbot happily laughs whilst petting the two now docile juices and celebrates the inclusion of new friends. The two juices then playfully chase each other around the Rubian Forge, while Ratchet and Kit say their farewells to Junkbot and take the elevator back up the surface to find another Blizon crystal, returning to Rivet's dimension once again. They agree to meet up with Rivet and Clank at Cirques when they are done. Kit is nervous about how to meet new people, but Ratchet tells her to just be friendly, open, and to not overthink it. The two then get in their ship and leave the planet. Okay, Jesus Christ. That's going to be it for today, my dudes. Holy balls. I still have quite some stuff to do. I feel like it's definitely going to be finished in like the following stream. I mean, it's still quite a bit, but you know, it's not impossible to do. But yeah, that is it for now. I'm curious what the final part of the story so far is going to be, but you know, we'll figure it out eventually. And even after all of the compiling of the lore is done, we still have the cutscenes to watch. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do it on or off stream, but we'll figure out. Maybe I'll do it a little bit on stream, a little bit off stream. Who knows? But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. And we're almost done, my dudes. Ah, feels so good. Have a great day, great night, or whatever it is. And I hope to see you soon again, my dudes.